I love how. Okay.
You love how
Oh,
apple jacks don't taste like apples?
yeah. Hi,
Woohoo!
everybody. Welcome to Majestic Mayhem. I'm your lovely host, Death Dealer. And these are some of my wonderful co hosts for the evening. My two panel members, as some of you already should know, Mahat Mama. Take a bow, my love. Take a bow.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to see you again.
Miss Cozy Beluga over there trying to
Woohoo!
contain her laughter and excitement. And our lovely guest for the evening, SmacPisces.
Woo!
Lovely to have you.
Happy to be here. I'm clapping
So
my flippers at you.
excited.
Yay! And there we are. Tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself, SmacPisces.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been gaming like all my life, but I started like streaming and doing gaming content in 2019. So like I feel pretty new, but it's been like 4 years, so I feel kind of like old. It fluctuates, but I'm here and happy. I play a lot of horror games, lots of DVD, lots of Texas Chainsaw recently. But I love story games too. My favorite game is like Final Fantasy X. Love it. Can't get enough of it. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Hello, Cozy
I'll calm down.
Stan.
Okay.
She's so excited.
Yeah.
So, tonight we are going to be discussing some of our favorite TV shows. Everyone did a very good job. I understand that a TV show would consist of just one season. However, I feel that's more of like a short series versus a TV show. So, but we all pick shows that have more than one season. So,
We
but
understood the assignment.
yes,
We
Period.
really did.
yes, they did well too,
You
and
did a
the
good- you did a
choices
good
are
mom joke.
well across the board too. At that. So I see we do have some wonderful people in the chat tonight.
Woo, woo.
Out of here.
Yes. Now I'm
I'm
gonna have to
going-
look down, but I
Oh, Lord.
see Elijah. Hi, thanks for coming. Oh, it's spooky.
Woohoo!
LJ Henderson, and of course Miss Trinity Warrior.
Oh
Love you,
my
dear.
God.
Can
She
I
did
just say,
so
if you
sweet.
guys didn't see it, Miss Trinity made us a short promo that she released 2 hours before
Trinity?
our show
The
today.
MVP. The
Beautiful.
MVP.
Such a sweetheart. She wasn't even asked. She just took it upon herself and was like, I hope you don't mind. Of course
my
not.
God.
And I love it. You did great. Mwah.
That's
Thank
what
you so much.
community looks like.
Yep.
Yes. See, that's how women should support women.
That is it.
Exactly.
You did amazing, sweetie. We are so thankful. Thankful.
Yes. Oh, and Back from the Dead. Hey, I see you. I'm not even going to pretend I could pronounce this. SCOPTG.
That's
Hi.
Skull. I love you. Shout out Skull. Shout out everybody in the chat,
Hold on,
actually.
I
You
don't
guys are
even
dope.
know.
Hey, I
don't-
see Nikki's
trying to
here.
see
Big
this.
E, Dinkling.
Woohoo!
I'm trying. I'm
lost-
really trying. Resident Evil, Hustle,
Oh.
and Motivate.
Motivate? That's
Hustle and Motivate.
awesome.
Yeah. So I'm so glad you guys are all here. Thank you. So I guess we should jump into our first show selections. And you know what? Since SmacPisces is our guest this evening, I will let
Oh my
you
goodness.
go first.
Me? Oh my gosh. Okay, what's the best way to do this? Do I just like say all of them at once or like
We do one at a time. I would do just this one, and then we'll go around and take turns of doing our first pick, and then we'll circle back around and go to the second and third picks.
we basically That just makes talk me about each
feel
other's
better.
picks?
That
Okay,
way
that
we
makes
can
me
all
feel better.
discuss it because we've all watched these shows, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
I've never seen watch TV before. That's fair. It happens. thinking like with the
All
Amish
right.
people or something. But yes, I'll go first. I'll go first. Okay, I'll start off with like a good one that I think would be like good conversation. Fear Factor. Loved it. I grew up watching it.
Fear
up-
Factor. Okay, sorry.
Period. I grew up watching people eat bugs on TV with my mom on Sundays. Okay, we'd be eating dinner and I just loved it. And like the underwater tricks with the keys, like I thought that stuff was so great. I don't know if it's fake or not, but entertaining to this
cares?
day. Exactly.
Actually,
It's so good.
fun fact, the reason the show was canceled was because it wasn't fake. And as the show went on longer, producers and things, I guess, and executives were encouraging Joe, because it was Joe Rogan's show. They were encouraging him to allow these contestants to do more and more dangerous things. And a set of female twins went on and they had to eat like something's balls, like cow balls or
Vile.
something, like something
try
really
it.
nasty.
Oof.
I would try
And
it.
they ended up with one of them ended up with like a flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh, I wouldn't try it.
And they got sued, and Rogan was like, it was, I believe at that point in time, it was like the second or third incident where something went wrong. And
Oh
he
my
was like, we're done. I'm not doing this anymore. You guys don't care about the people. This is all about gross. And so that's actually a fun fact about that. Cause yeah, I always thought that was interesting. Cause I always used to wonder, like, that show, a lot of people loved it.
So they
And
were
it was
eating
Yeah.
there,
food
and then
grade
it was
food.
just gone. They didn't even, I don't even think they really announced like we're canceling it. I think it was just
Just gone.
Oh,
It just
there.
ended. Yeah.
So
Wait, they
yeah,
weren't
he's talked
grade
about
food
it.
though. That seems like a problem. Like they weren't giving them, like, I imagine you could get food grade testicles, but they weren't feeding them non-food grade testicles. That seems
Well,
They
I
just took
think-
them. Just gave them.
Well, I
to
think
Food
what it was
testicles.
because, well, I don't know if how much anyone else has experience working in theater or with theatrics like that. But I do have a background in stage theater and special effects. And when you're shooting some of these scenes, you've got to shoot them, especially with movies. You're shooting them over and over and over again. And these things are sitting outside, like, because Fear Factor was outside. It's outside in the elements where the heat is indirect sunlight. It's not being properly like chilled or kept warm like it's supposed to as food, and that breeds bacteria. And that's where their whole, they weren't doing their job to keep people safe comes in. Because like when I've done special effects with food with people on stages, we don't use real food because it
Yeah.
can make people sick. And when I do stage work in theater, these people are, yeah, my actors are on stage for
Yeah.
hours on a time. And don't get me wrong, some of the placemats are but they're not under lights for 12 hours per se, maybe 3 to 4, but it still could be unsafe. And we're not willing to risk that when we don't have to.
Exactly.
It's an
yeah.
unnecessary risk.
so. They
It's-
were just feeding them toxic old food. That's the
Yeah,
same.
hot,
were-
hot
and I
cow
believe-
balls.
And I believe another instance was somebody had to swim through like bile and things, and that caused some kind of infection for that person as well.
As it
I
would.
think he actually died though.
Talking about
I'm not
Fear
sure.
Factor makes me want to vomit.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I feel bad for
So,
enjoying
it's not
it.
fake. It was never fake. Those people had testicles of steel.
I feel
'cause
bad
you could
now.
never have
No,
made
you're
them
good.
enough.
I'm
I feel so bad for them
Oh
now.
no. Well, that most people don't know that
oh
because
my god.
it's not something. I don't think it was something that was brought up into a national light the way it should have been, and I think that was because Hollywoods always trying to pull something, and they.
like
Why would we tell people we're purposely putting them in danger when we're still running other productions?
That
I'm
kind
still
of.
grossed out by
I know it was real,
like,
but I didn't know it was like
oh my
real. Like I knew it was real, but I didn't know it was like, oh man. Like I thought
also
there were safety precautions put in place for these people. Oh,
also SmacPisces, don't feel bad that you said that. This is a really good thing to be talking about because we didn't all know that. So
Yeah.
it's really cool that Death Dealer is like getting to tell us something really informative. So don't
Yes.
apologize. Don't feel bad. And even if I'm making these terrible faces, I'm really glad that like now I know this.
Like, it honestly,
Wow.
as someone who's looked at these practices of these reality shows and things, I wholeheartedly don't get me wrong, I watch reality shows just like everybody else because the drama's hysterical. It's not my drama I'm dealing with. So it's like, I could watch you all day, honey. Same reason
Exactly.
people love Jerry Springer or Murray, it's not you, it's somebody else. So it's okay. I would never recommend or encourage my friends to go on any kind of reality show because the amount of waivers you sign that they essentially are not held liable or responsible for safety is just unreal. I can't believe that it's technically, I don't think it is legal. I'm pretty sure there's loopholes in certain states to where if you sign a contract stating if you get injured or die, you can't sue the company. I'm pretty sure those aren't valid. A lot of times companies just use those waivers as a deterrent to keep you from suing, to make you think you can't sue.
That's
And
vile.
it I
It's
mean,
terrible.
think about it this way. If they're willing to put their high paid actors and actresses in harm's way, who are you and what makes you think you're any different? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Like Uma Thurman's got on contract or on interviews and said that she was injured during a Quentin Tarantino movie and she was making bank and she was the star of the movie. I mean, you would think all the safety measures would be in place for her.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few. The girl that played the little girl from The Exorcist, she has severe back injuries from doing the stunts of that movie, and she was a child. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it,
It's
Well,
it's I,
unfortunate, man.
it is crazy. But honestly, let's go on to another one.
Yeah, let's
I'm sorry for bringing
This is getting
everybody
to be
down.
a
I'm so
depressing
sorry.
ass thing. And I was like so excited about it. But
I feel terrible now.
no,
I feel so
no,
bad.
never feel bad about giving somebody a very good education. But let's move on
Period.
to another game, another show.
I agree.
Somebody a happier show.
You know
Um,
what?
Anybody.
Cozy,
it's
you got a
me?
happier show.
Oh yeah. So the first one I'm gonna go with is 30 Rock.
Thank you,
Oh,
God.
perfect. Perfect.
30
Thank
Rock.
you, God.
Fantastic show.
30 Rock to me represents one of the best written shows I've ever experienced. Like just like the amount of cleverness in like a lot of the jokes. They had like all sorts of levels of humor in that show. And
Mm.
not only that, but they made fun of the whole process of like how they make shows, how
was so meta.
disposable. It was the most meta show you ever watched. Like there are just so many things about it. They just made fun of everything and everyone. Nothing was safe and sacred. And but in a kind of clean way. Like they
Yeah.
weren't like there's certain shows
They
like
were
South
not
Park makes fun of
mean.
everything. Yes, they weren't like mean, but they definitely took no prisoners in regards to
Mhm.
like how they made fun of just about everything. And the fact that the show constantly would like, as far as like the kind of show it was, the fact that it constantly referenced small little bits of information that it had previously dropped like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 seasons earlier and be like bring it up like it was still a thing, and you would just be like, wait, I don't remember that. And when you rewatch, you'd be like, oh, that is a thing that they would just do. Just so much about it. Yeah, I enjoyed.
30 Rock
And
was sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it was just so funny. It's just like they had Al Gore recycling a joke for Earth Day. Like,
I think the only one that had a better Al Gore joke in the TV show is South Park. You can't tell me the representation of Al Gore in South Park isn't
yes.
hysterical.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, but no, 30 Rock was an amazing show. It really was. It was kind of almost ahead of its time too, because they did touch on more subjects that are more in the open today, like the one I can't remember her name in the show, but the female character who's the safe or the security lieutenant, and she in like the first season, the whole time she's complaining, she's like, I'm not used to this womanly body, I don't like this womanly thing. It was so ahead of its time for that, like, and they didn't do it distastefully as far as I'm concerned. I
Oh,
mean, now
they
other
were
people
so
had their
respectful.
opinions, but it was always funny in a lighthearted way, I think.
I think that something like 30 Rock and along those lines of that way would be like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, is where the ability to say hard things or make them funny and make them not mean and say important things that have substance, and just really doing it in a respectful and sweet manner. And that's why I loved 30 Rock. And I mean, I think that it's awesome that, like, Cozy, you said that, because I mean, who among us did not grow up idolizing Tina Fey? Like,
Okay, after she did Mean Girls,
yeah.
Yes.
she had me, because that movie, I swear, that is one of the best movies ever.
Legendary movie.
I had to show my daughter well before she even got the concept, and she's like, I don't like these girls. They're all mean. I'm like, that's the point.
You
They're
get it.
all terrible. They all
Exactly.
start off as terrible.
You get the
teenagers,
joke, honey.
and they get better, honey. That's the thing. Like, women should support women, and that's what. And then, like, of course, we watched it. I think it was just this past summer, and she's like, "Okay, now I get it a little more." And it makes. She's like, "I still don't understand why they're obsessed with that boy, though." You know, he touched my hand and asked me what date it was. It was October 3rd.
Oh God, it's getting ready to be October 3rd, guys.
It really is. It's gonna be time. The
Wait,
poster
on
gonna
I
come out.
celebrate
We wear
every
pink.
year.
Oh,
I
yeah.
celebrate every
Okay,
year.
okay.
And when I was doing CPU for my stream on Wednesdays, I would always wear pink. It was like a very specific thing, because I was one of those people that went to go see Mean Girls by myself in a theater.
Aw.
I would have gone with you.
No,
I'll rent out a theater and we all go to see Mean Girls in it.
I'm down.
I really don't
I'll be
like
there.
theaters, so but I
No, you
I
rent
wanted
it
to
out,
see
so
that.
you don't have to deal with other people.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
and then
I
they can
actually-
clean
Like
it.
$100.
One year, my sisters and mother and I were out at a theme park, and we had stopped at one of the on-property spots for lunch. We were in Disney World, and my family, we all have very dark senses of humor. Okay, I tell my siblings that I hate them. They laugh, tell me I love you too. Yeah, like, it's this. We're very dark. We're twisted. We have very senses of humor. Not most people understand, but that's okay. So anyway, so we're sitting there, and my sisters and my mom and I had already sat down at the table. My sisters were walking over, and I looked at him and I was like, "You can't sit with us." And my one sister instantly caught the joke, and she's like, "But this is the only thing that'll fit." And I was like, "You can't sit with us." No. When I wore that thing, you made me sit with the losers. You gotta go sit with the losers. And all of a sudden, people are like looking, and my mom's like, you guys are gonna have to stop that in public. We can't be getting kicked out of these places. I just looked at my mom. I was like, she can't sit with us. That's all there is to it.
Aww.
The rules. The rules. Rules are rules.
Yeah. So good. Also, the whole support of like the writers, because that happened during the first writer strike.
I
The third
know.
season. And the show was probably the most pro. It was like before caring about the writers was a thing. The show was very pro writers.
That show showed the, like, yeah, the background of what goes into an actual show. And I used to work in news, funny story. And so I used to be in like a studio and stuff like that. And so you really get to be, it's not like we weren't doing a writer's room like that. We were doing actual like news pitches. But that kind of culture, you know, that it really showed a light on that. And I am so glad that you mentioned it. And now I want to know what Death Dealer's first pick will be.
Okay, one of the best shows on the planet. Okay. From start to finish, that show was amazing. People can call it corny and say whatever they want. This show has a huge following, a very large cult following, and I highly recommend not insulting them because they could be worse than the Beehive, I swear.
I know they
But
are.
my boys, Supernatural. I mean, this
Excellent.
show was amazing. Like they had the worst budget the first few seasons, and they made it work beautifully. And look at look at those faces. I don't care what kind of person you are. Everybody has a favorite brother. Everybody. And
This
then
is
if you
so
don't,
glorious.
it's these two guys right here. You got an angel or a demon. Like, pick your choice. There's somebody for everybody. And don't even get me started on Charlie. She was, oh my God, when she went, it was such a heartbreaking moment. I don't cry. My daughter can attest to this. I do not cry. I cried when Charlie
That-
died. That
that
was just soul
sucked.
crushing. That was soul crushing. I was like, how dare you send this bitch do this to her after all she's done?
I know. Rude.
But the last season, they did very well, in my opinion. And I know quite a few people were like, oh, the last 2 episodes. And I'm like, there was no other way for them to end it. Let's be realistic. This guy right here had a death wish from day one. Okay. I'm impressed that he made it as far as he did in all of the seasons. Okay. We knew he was outliving him by far. Because
That's fair.
Dean could not live without Sam. Sam could live without Dean. See the difference there? So it made sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. Of
I
course,
love you
when
so much.
that second episode at the end, when I cried like a baby. I literally
my
ran to
God.
Dreadpool. I was like, I can't believe they just killed him off. There's a whole episode left. I knew they'd do it, but
I knew they'd do it.
oh my God, why? Now I'm gonna have to do it without. I can't do this. Oh yeah, no, bro. They did good. They did real good. I cannot complain about that. Say what you want. Yeah, they had some corny episodes and there were some bad storylines. I am myself, I'm not a fan of the Leviathans. I thought that went on way too friggin' long. But
That was a long time.
yeah, it seemed like that season went on for like 5 seasons
Yeah, I
instead
was
of
like,
just one.
Why?
Ah.
What are we doing here? Sorry.
But excellent show. I mean, I think we could all agree. These guys right here. Who wouldn't party with them? And they taught us all how
I
to
wouldn't
be
party
home
with them
alone.
because I want to stay alive.
I'm scared
That's
of all of them.
But we're women. We'd be good. They usually keep us safe.
Are you
Unless
kidding
you
me?
never
They
know.
kill off every girl in that show. We would immediately be dead.
But
If
they're
I see
usually
those
terrible.
4 dudes,
If you're dating
I'm-
them, who said anything
Walking
about
red
dating
flags.
them? Well,
I don't
Walking.
even want to be around them because do you remember like they'd be walking around and then there's always somebody dies around them. I just know that's
It's
where I
not
draw the
gonna
line.
be me.
Joe,
It's
gonna
not
be.
gonna be me.
Joe lasted a couple of seasons before they killed her off.
Yeah,
But
I
the
wanna
point
live a
part is
long
she
time.
killed off.
I want to live longer, but I'm glad you mentioned this show because I have so many. I just love that you said this show, and I'm so happy about it.
Oh, I'll go back and watch this show every time. And it's like, oh, I should start this new show. Everyone keeps telling me to watch it. It's like, nah, I'm gonna start from season 1 again and watch my boys go all over again. Cause it's also fascinating to see like the baby face to the grown, fully grown man. It's like, I don't remember you aging like this as the show went on. It just wasn't as noticeable. It's much more noticeable now. But they are still good looking. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah, I mean people get hotter as they get older.
Oh, did you see his stint in The Boys?
He's
I
so
haven't watched
good. He's so
it.
good.
Let me tell
he
you,
is.
I'm giving everybody a piece of advice. I didn't actually watch the show The Boys yet. However, when I found out he was going to be on as Soldier Boy,
Yes.
I wanted to see his intro because I heard that it was amazing. So I was like, I have to check this out. Girl, it does
Soldier
not
Boy?
disappoint.
yeah.
like a
Does not
hero?
Boy.
disappoint.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, he plays a
he's Soulja
mean
Boy's-
person.
into
in the boys,
thing.
the soldier boy.
Well, he's
in
the
Soulja Boy in
boys
The
version
Boys.
of Captain America.
Yeah.
He's
He's
the
not.
off-brand like the bad Captain America.
Gotcha.
You get to see his butt cheeks though.
Oh.
It's worth watching. Totally worth it. He looks amazing. I'm so sorry, Dreadpool, but he already knows I got a thing for him, so it's not really a surprise.
Everybody has things for everybody.
Exactly.
You!
My
Somebody
husband
said
supports
you!
my obsession.
Said you. Sorry. Somebody said you in the chat, so I'm very happy. That's all.
You.
SmacPisces, I saw you going for it. I was like, somebody.
I
Soulja
had
Boy
to.
doing
I was
this.
like, what? I was
Dance
like,
Central.
I'm the
I kind
only
of know
one-
that dance because
I'm
of
the
Dance
only
Central.
one doing this.
No, I definitely.
You guys
picked
are
it
all
up.
the same age as me, aren't you? We all.
No,
grew
I
up in
actually know the
club.
dance because of Dance Central.
That's valid.
I love that she's eating. That she's like, I didn't go to the clubs. I know it from Dance Central.
And then just
I'm
snack.
so
Eating a
old.
snack.
I was going to school dances when the Macarena came out. So yeah, I used the club back in the day.
Yeah.
I was,
I-
too.
I
That was like
would
fifth grade.
Do it now.
That was like a fifth grade. That's like your first school dance. Macarena was fifth grade.
No,
I was a little older than that.
she's older
I'm
than
older
us.
than you. Yeah, I'm
She's
a few
older than
years
us,
older.
Cozy.
But it was at my first school dance too.
Whoa,
No,
think.
that's a fifth grade dance. That doesn't count.
I
We're
was
talking
okay.
about homecomings.
Oh.
You don't get down in your fifth grade
Fifth grade.
sweetheart dance. The Soldier Boy.
Oh,
You
my
do
God.
that at homecoming in front of
Although
your
I
teachers.
am part of that generation, we did play Push It at the school. I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like our 6th or 7th grade school dance, and they played Push It. And
Baby,
I
baby.
remember standing there when it came on, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" And then I watched a couple of the parents like,
They're always so pissed.
But
all us kids were like, "We don't care. We don't even know what half this shit means. We're just jamming out like salt, pepper, and
Push
the
it real good.
I literally remember like dancing in 7th grade to Ludacris Fantasy. And if that's not the most ridiculous thing that I've ever
I can do one better for you. You guys remember the song Peaches and Cream?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
8th grade.
For
For real.
for my drama project, for my end year drama project, I had to choreograph a dance for a talent show in order to pass. So I got some friends to do it for, like I choreographed the dance for them, had them go on stage. I picked Peaches and Cream. It wasn't until a few years later I looked back on it and went, how in the hell did I get away with that?
How are we talking
And-
about this?
What was I
They were
thinking?
probably very like, what? That was a different time.
It's a different time.
Well, listen, our parents were listening to Cherry Pie in the
Yeah.
car with us. They ain't got much room to talk,
Yeah.
okay? Grateful Dead, if anyone's familiar with who the Grateful Dead are, just look up like a couple of their songs. Enough said. Enough said. It's totally 70s and 80s music, all right there. Enough said.
Oh my god.
I know about the Grateful Dead from what's that show? I don't remember the name of the show.
They were on a they were
No,
mentioned on a
the show that talked about them. I forget
show?
what the name of the show. It was like a high school show. It had like one season. It's really
My
good.
mom was they're called the people, their fan base are called Deadheads. My mom was a Deadhead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They talked about Deadheads. I don't remember the name of the
It's
show.
probably
though.
like the 70s show or something.
no,
like,
no. They were like high schoolers.
Freaks and
like,
Geeks?
Freaks
Yes,
and Geeks,
Freaks and
baby.
Geeks.
Was it Freaks and Geeks?
Banger.
Yes, it was Freaks and Geeks.
Banger.
Yeah,
Geeks. It was Freaks and Geeks.
Garcia, the lead singer, passed away in the early mid 90s, so that would make sense. It would have been on Freaks and Geeks, yeah.
No,
But
I'm so
anyway.
happy. Oh, can I say mine? My first
Yes.
pick
Yeah.
Your turn
for
now.
my for the show. My my first pick for my favorite show is very obvious. It is The Simpsons. My hot mama is actually a quick joke from The Simpsons. So that's it. Yeah, It's just The Simpsons. I'm really proud of it. I love The Simpsons. I know them. I know a lot of the episodes because I have a very crazy mind and I rewatch them a lot. So that's mine.
No, that's not a bad pick. That's a good
Good
pick.
pick.
What do you mean that's not a
That was very
bad
good
pick?
I mean, no,
That's a
I
very
mean
good
that's not.
pick.
You act like it was
No,
a. You
this
spoke like it was a bad pick. And
What do you
you
mean
sound-
it's a bad
And I was
pick?
just saying it was a good pick, but the reason I think The Simpsons is so great is because there's not like it's like I don't think it's like I think it's hard to not like something about The Simpsons. Like I never really watched The Simpsons, but hear me out. That intro, I always had to watch the intro to see
Danny
what was going to
Elfman.
happen. I always had to watch the intro.
Well, wait
like
a minute,
I was
wait a minute,
obsessed.
wait a minute.
What?
I'm gonna censor myself to not say exactly what I'm really thinking on this one because I would drop an F-bomb in the middle of it. But what the hell do you mean you've never actually watched The Simpsons?
Okay, this is valid though because all right, listen.
I'm
I didn't
confused.
get to watch The Simpsons until it was syndicated on Fox.
Okay, that
Because
makes sense.
so like because we grew up with no cable. So
Hmm. Was Fox cable back in the day? See,
no,
I'm
but
so old. Fox used to
If
be
you
a
live in
public
certain
channel.
places, you
Oh,
don't
no.
get television. Back in the
Fox
day, if you
has
lived in
always
certain
been
places,
network, but yeah.
if you lived in a lot of places, you
Oh.
also couldn't get network television.
See,
you only had
where I
5
was a kid
channels.
and grew up, we didn't have clean water, but we had cable.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just a Detroit joke for some of you. No, just kidding.
No, it's so there's a lot of people
Bad
like
joke.
I didn't get into The Simpsons until high school. And
Well, that makes sense. But how cozy? How have you not seen it though?
yeah, you're a
actually,
normal person.
here's
That's
thing.
the one I'm
What's
like
wrong
looking
with
at. Like,
you?
Mama,
Hear me
I
out.
can understand why you didn't see it until you were older, but like I'm looking
You're
at her,
kind of
she's like, I've
low-key
watched
dumb.
the intro, and I'm like, what the hell you made?
I enjoyed
How
the
have you watched
intro.
the
I
intro,
really
but not
enjoyed
the
the
show?
intro. But
Yeah.
I will explain. Like I did not, as a kid, really enjoy a lot of comedy. I had no sense of humor as a kid. Like I'd be like, that's not funny.
Okay.
I admit I was not a very fun child. I was like, that's not funny.
Okay,
Like,
all right. Now that makes sense. I was just genuinely like, what? How in the hell does that work out? I mean, you can watch the intro, but you couldn't watch the show. Like, what your parents like? You can watch the intro, but after that, it's
That's too much.
too risque. We're
Nah.
turning it off. This is not
Oh my God.
okay.
it was just that I was not a fun-loving child. I did not watch a lot of things that would be like, oh yeah.
It was
Oh.
hard growing up with like did you have cable or did you have like Cartoon Network?
No,
Yeah.
I had access to it, but I didn't have cable.
Not having Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or Disney Channel made me like basically unrelatable to most people. And then everyone would think I was a moron and it was terrible. I was like, "Hey, you guys seen Arthur?" And they were like, no, did you watch the MTV Awards?" And I'd be like, "What's that?"
I met the creator of Arthur twice.
Did you meet him
Oh,
at a
very nice.
library? Because he
Yeah.
did library tours.
Yes,
Did
that's
you-
how I
He did library
Crazy.
tours.
I have a
We were one
signed
of a
book.
library kids.
I know I worked at the library for 12 years.
Yeah.
That's how I met him. And like I was like, yeah, and I got a signed book from him.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
that's cool. That's real cool.
But yeah, I didn't have I had access to cable, but we didn't really have cable.
Okay, see, this is again where I'm showing my age. Cartoon Network wasn't a thing until I was a teenager. Disney Channel, I think, was just starting out when I was a kid, or maybe they had been around. I honestly don't remember. Nickelodeon was a big thing. But yeah, Cartoon Network didn't come around until I was in my teenage years, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can relate to you on that front. MTV was definitely a thing I watched a lot back when they played real good music videos.
They
that
actually
told
did
stories.
music videos.
They used, believe it or not, back in the day, they played whole songs with videos that, wait for it, some of the videos even pertain to what the song was about. And they were like entire productions. Like Michael Jackson's Thriller was like set in the bar. That set the bar, and everybody was like, we got to try and do something like this now.
Yeah.
VH1 used to play music
Back in the day, man.
back in the
Now
day.
it's like all like ridiculousness, like reruns, like the
I
whole day.
haven't watched
It's
any
really
of those
weird.
channels
I
in like 10 years at
You're not
least.
missing out on anything at all.
thank
Once the
God.
TV got into that Jersey Shore thing, I was like, okay, this is just reality show after reality show after reality show. Like, I'm not waiting till 4 in the morning to watch terrible music videos.
Yep.
Do play.
Yeah.
Hello, RK,
Oh,
WK88.
SmacPisces, do you want to go to your second pick?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I do. I do. For my second pick, I guess I'll do American Horror Story. Okay, specific seasons though, because some of the seasons I don't really rock with. But Coven was great, which I believe is like the third, and then there's like a 1980s themed, which is like
Oh,
really
1984. I
yep,
think it is.
that one.
Great
Love it.
season.
Love
Yeah.
it. If you like B grade like horror films from like the 80s,
Ooh.
perfect season to watch. I loved it so much.
I'm excited.
Oh, I
Um,
agree. That was a really good season.
Mhm.
84 was a great season, I thought.
And Coven just gave like can we cuss on the show?
That's
believe it's
very
that far
offensive to
in.
me. No, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say it's like a bad bitch season. Like
Oh,
they just
yeah.
put like the best people all together on a cast. And we were talking about this like a little bit before the show, but like literally no holes, no notes, all tens, no complaints. Like it
Hot
was just great.
ladies. Hot
Hot
ladies
ladies.
all around. Like,
Powerful ladies.
I have not seen this before. Like, I have not seen Coven before. I am watching it. I watched it yesterday. Like all of the episodes except for the last one. So I was watching it yesterday, and it's amazing. I can't believe I missed out on it. I love Angela Bassett and Jessica Lange. It's just incredible. And I'm excited about the new American Horror Story because I think it's going to have a lot of like maternal, obviously it's going to have a lot of maternal things with it, but I think you're going to see a lot of callback to some things that were in Coven.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about I like medical horror, like the
Ooh.
horror of like Malignant. That's one of my favorite movies ever. But I think that American Horror Story is fantastic, and I'm glad you said it.
I love it. Can't get enough of it.
Great show. Great show. I mean, there are a few seasons I'm not thrilled with myself, but I can be a horror snob at times, so I don't necessarily blame it all on the show. I blame it on my personal tastes.
That's fair
But
though.
Coven, excellent season. They were some of the baddest bitches to come through. I mean, I was so
Yes.
happy when the apocalyptic season when they brought that one in. I was entertained, but I had way too many questions that they were not answering anything for. But I liked how they tied in Covenant at the end. It was like, okay, now this makes sense. Now this makes a
Mhm.
lot more sense why things were so weird and there were no questions answered. We were just getting question upon question. So I like that they tied that in. So it would be interesting to see if they tie this new season into those other and how they would do it. I'm not sure how they would really do it other than because we already know how Damien was born and conceived and everything. So they can't do that. They can't change that. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I think Kardashian's getting a whole lot more hate than she deserves for the role, only because, and I say this not necessarily as a Kardashian fan. I'm really not. It's nothing against them. I don't worship stars like that. I really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have talent and I can appreciate your talent, great. And she's got a talent for making money. Good for her. You know, who
Yeah.
am I to say anything? Am I a fan? No. Do I think she deserves as much hate as she's getting? Not at all. I mean, Lady Gaga got a ton of hate for her season Hotel as well. And quite frankly, I think she did really good in the role. And I think she did good in as the witch in Roanoke as well. Roanoke wasn't my favorite season either, but her character did well. Her acting was an unexpected surprise. So I
Mhm.
hope that Kim can pull off that unexpected surprise for her sake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's
Yeah.
nice for everyone to be able to branch out and do something new. And I don't wish anyone to fail. So, hey, maybe she could find a new talent instead of just making money on beauty products and things. Maybe she could be an actress and do that. Or maybe she could just go focus on whatever she wants to do is fine. I hope she succeeds in all of it. I just think it's unnecessary hate because of her name. Who cares?
It'll be interesting. I think that American Horror Story does a really good job of pairing seasoned and very strong actors with people that are wanting to get their chops into acting. There's a lot of people that are like they start out on there, or it's just a fun show. They're like when we turned it on, I said, "Is this American Horror Story or is this a music video?" Like it's just very so over the top. And I think it's going to be good. Something that I would like to mention about American Horror Story that I love is that the attention to disability and the respect that they show it. They have done a really good job with casting people that are disabled and letting them shine in all different kinds of ways, and I really respect that, and especially in the horror genre.
Mm.
I just love it, like, because it's something where you can view disability as this very like with Freak Show. I'm excited to watch that and review it from the aspect of, okay, let's see what this is. Because
Spoiler, you're gonna love it. You're
oh,
you're
I'm
gonna
sure
love
because
it.
Very
Freaks
good.
it
because
is a
it was
very well
good.
done. It is a very well done and
Yeah,
respectful season. And what I do like about especially the earlier American Horror Story seasons is that not everyone's typecast into a specific pigeonholed stereotypical character. You know what I mean? Like not everyone's going to be the villain or the hero. It shows that we can all be both
yeah.
and it can be done beautifully. And it's I think you'll love it. It's one of my favorites. So.
I'm excited because I know that people are expecting that I'm going to be like, oh, so hateful about it. I'm like, no, I know what, whenever you've know the background of what a freak show was and that it actually did
Yep.
offer some community and in a way safety for people that
Mm,
were different. I'm
mm.
excited to review it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Boss, we can read books.
I can't
We
read
watch
books, and I'm
movies and
illiterate.
read books. No, you're a librarian.
No, I'm
Once
not
a
a
librarian,
librarian.
always a
I
librarian,
went
dude.
to the library.
I was a librarian.
I have librarians in my family. Does that
So,
count?
yeah. Yeah. It's just a way of life. You become a weirdo when you're surrounded by librarians, trust.
That was the only place that would take me.
Yeah, trust. Who else? Who's next though? I don't remember.
Uh-oh.
You go next.
No.
What's your second show, love?
Okay, I will. Can I nerd out for a second? Because it actually
Absolutely.
does do really well with the American Horror Story.
Okay.
From visually, the show that I'm thinking of is Legion, and it was on FX. It was,
Oh.
yeah, Legion.
Okay.
Legion is one of the best shows I have ever seen. Visually inspiring, beautiful soundtrack. It is actually the story of Professor X's son who has schizophrenia, and he's going off to, uh, he's a mutant with schizophrenia and what
Mm.
it's like to deal with that and with such power. And then it's a really, really good show. The music is fantastic. The score is amazing. Jeff Russo, shout out. Uh, Lord, please watch Community. Please watch Legion.
I started watching Legion. I didn't have like Hulu, so I couldn't finish it. But I did start watching it.
Okay, well, we're gonna fix that because you need to. It's such a good. It was so cool.
Yeah, I remember definitely enjoying it, but I don't binge watch shows, so like then if I don't get around to finishing a show before like
Yeah.
my trial runs out, then I'm like, "Oh no."
Well, see you later. See you later, show.
I'm still behind on Doom Patrol, so once I watch that, I'll get into Legion. I have been trying to watch Doom Patrol since that show came out, just because I love Brendan Fraser, and it just looks hilarious, and I'm like, I have to watch this. I just never get to
I am a fan of Doom Patrol, but I've only read the comic.
Ooh. It's a good show.
I hear it's actually closely modeled after the it's actually I've heard from other people that have read the comic that it's fairly well done for it being based on comics. So I don't know. But Cozy, do you have your next pick?
Wait. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna go with is dinosaurs.
No way! I haven't heard that show. Oh, I love that show.
I love
never-
dinosaurs.
Me either. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Need a rundown.
It's one of those shows that's absolutely free on something.
I
It
wasn't
was,
allowed to watch it.
It was Jim Henson's the guy who made the Muppets and Sesame Street Puppets and all that, right? Well, I believe the story is something along the lines of they wanted a more an older puppet type show for like older teenagers and adults and things, like a family show. So they came to Jim Henson and were like, hey, can you build these dinosaur things for us? They're legitimate costumes that people would, and they are so well done from the early 90s. The effects of the show hold up super well, even by today's standards. It is, and it's funny. It deals with, they deal with like life problems of dinosaurs, but they kind of like tied into like human problems. Like the teenage girl goes through puberty, but her tail doesn't come in as long and as quick as her friends does, like how girls, get insecure about,
Yep.
So it's nice that they do things like that. And like the boy, his spikes aren't growing as tall and girls aren't paying attention to him. So he gets self-conscious about that. And like, it's so funny. And what's kind of sad is, if you watch it, I recommend not watching, like, I think it's the last 2 episodes because they canceled it. Unfortunately, while they were planning on leaving the season on a cliffhanger and doing another season afterwards, well, the show got canceled. So the show actually ends with them starting the apocalypse by damaging the earth and creating too much smoke and smog and things. And that's how they end it, with like everybody's dying. And it's like,
and the last line is like him being like, the dinosaurs have been around for millions of years. I'm pretty sure we'll be around, like, we'll still be around.
That's so sad.
It's like the elf ending. Like the elf ending, they weren't supposed to actually cancel the show, so they left it on this cliffhanger where Elf was being captured by government agents, and for all we know, he's still with government agents because they canceled.
He's gone forever.
Yeah, but dinosaurs, it's like they're saying in the comments. Yeah, it was a sitcom. It was like a family sitcom. But the only catch was it was dinosaurs. The way they used to abuse that mammal food was like inappropriate. Like,
not the mama.
The mammals, no, the mammals. Remember how like the mammals would be like they'd be cooking them, but they'd still be alive, and they'd just like be beating them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
what type of show was this? Like,
no,
I've never seen this
You
show.
have to watch it to understand. It was a sitcom.
It was all
except
played
everyone,
for comedy.
Well, yes, it was all played for comedy, but it was like a sitcom, but it was like a dinosaurs. Like, so imagine like the typical like 90s sitcom, except
like the food
people, the dinosaurs instead of people.
The food would look at Dad on the plate and be like, so are you going to eat me or what? Are you just going to like stand there and stare at me and like, what's going on? And it was always funny. The baby would hit Dad all the time. Not the mama. Not the mama.
I'm gonna have to watch this because I need context.
It's on
Yeah.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus. It's
Oh,
on Disney
God.
Be
Plus
over there.
now. Yeah, Disney now owns it. It's on Disney Plus. You're welcome, everybody.
But yeah, it was such a good show.
Oh,
Definitely.
I'm glad
Uh,
that you said it.
Yeah.
that's
I wanna
awesome.
I want to draw you as a dinosaur. What's your favorite dinosaur again?
Ankylosaurus.
I don't like
Ankylosaurus.
seafood.
You know.
Saurus. Okay,
Oh,
I wrote
I
it
don't have
down.
any gummies that I can shove in my shove in my mouth. Whoa.
Shove in
Whoa,
my-
that was an
oh.
awkward slip of the tongue. Yeah, so I don't have any gummies I could shove in my mouth and so you can see food.
I'll never
I get
forget
it now.
that.
I wanted to show you, by the way, Death Dealer.
Yeah.
Sorry. And this one just broke. These are it's my children's teeth necklaces.
So that way you can always perform magic spells over them.
Oh my gosh.
goodness.
That is too funny.
And then
That
there's
is way
Lane's.
too funny.
Yep. I just thought
That
you'd
is
like that. I
great.
was like, I'm gonna wear these for the
This is
stream so then
great.
I can show them to Death
Oh,
because
that's great.
she'll think I'm cool and not weird. Like
That
the
is
Sears
so-
people. The Sears guys, when they came in to like give us they were delivering our like what's it called? A washer dryer system.
Mhm.
And they saw this is in our old place, and they saw all the masks hung up and all of our like weird skulls. And they were like, "Are you a witch?" And I was like, "No, like, no, I'm not." Like,
Wait,
I'm
you guys saw
okay.
Sears?
We did 4 years ago.
That's still pretty
Back
recent.
in the day.
4
That's
years
funny.
ago, we had Sears.
Wow.
It's funny because someone one year gave Tiny Giant a stuffed animal with actual teeth in it. It is the weirdest looking little doll.
I know what it
and
is. It's
Where those teeth
the
come from?
no, it's like
My
Don't
question.
know. I
they're
think they're
not.
fake though. I think they're like made
Yeah,
with
they're-
resin because they don't feel. As weird as I'm about to sound, I do know what real teeth that have been removed feel like, and they don't feel like teeth. They're not
No.
brittle enough
To share
to
with the
be.
class.
You see, whenever I lost this one, I was
You know,
like,
the tooth fairy needs an assistance every now and then, right?
I should have gotten that. I need it.
Yeah, you could get like a gold one put in.
Yeah, see? That's what I have.
Oh, what?
I have a gold tooth. I lost a tooth last year. I broke it on chocolate, and it hurt.
What?
Yeah, well, I have terrible teeth. I mean, they look good, but I have terrible like teeth, just trash teeth. But so I chomped into a piece of chocolate and busted my tooth, and I got a gold tooth. And my family was so mad. They were like, "You are not going to get a gold tooth," and I was like, "Oh yes, I am."
It adds to the riz.
Yeah, I was like, my husband was like, "Don't do it," and I was like, "No, I'm gonna do it." And then my mom and dad were like, "Don't do it. You're gonna look so trashy," and I was like, "No, I'm doing it."
See, my smart
I
ass
did
would have
it.
looked at my parents and been like, "I'm getting the top row diamonds and the bottom row gold."
I love grills. I love
Something just
grills,
popped into
and
my
my
head when
parents
you
hate
started
them.
saying that. I was like, "The grill."
Sorry, it
my-
was a slip of the tongue. That was a slip
Yeah.
of the tongue.
So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
sorry, I just wanted to show you my teeth necklaces because I thought you'd be proud of me.
I am. So I will go ahead and
Somebody.
discuss my second choice. And I don't know if anyone else has seen this or loves it as much as I do. Z Nation.
Yeah.
This show is amazing and it is everything that The Walking Dead could have been. Okay. Don't get me wrong, it's got its corny factor in there. It was a sci-fi show.
That's
okay?
what made it good was the corniness.
It was their answer to The Walking Dead, which is actually funny because it did start after a few seasons after The Walking Dead had been on. And in the first, I believe it's in the first season, there's actually a throwaway line of them coming across the survivors when the survivors at Walking Dead are at the prison. They're like, yeah, she says something along the lines of like, yeah, there's some sheriff and a bunch of people at a prison down the road, but they're staying there for now. But it's so funny because
That's
there's so
cool.
many in
That's
jokes in the
funny.
whole show. It's much more realistic, in my opinion, for a zombie apocalypse. The zombies look terrible. The makeup's not the greatest all the time. The CGI is a little wonky the first few seasons. It's a sci-fi show, of course. I mean, these are the same people that make Sharknado. Let's be real and have some expectations
I like Z
brought
Nation.
down. But
Sharknado.
they have they have to deal with a nuclear plant melting down and have to keep that from melting down before it contaminates half the United States. So that I thought was great because they never once broached that subject in The Walking Dead, but we forget that people need to run these nuclear power plants, but it's okay. We'll forget about it. But Z Nation's like, no, no, no. We're gonna have a whole episode dedicated to making one safe. And then the zombies mutate over time. There's some people that are immune to it. It's just it's hysterical. There's a lot of we were never here. If anyone asks if we were at the Grand Canyon, we were never here. If anyone asks if we were near the Liberty Bell, we were never here. Like they used the Liberty Bell at one point. Zombies are chasing them. They're in Philadelphia. And the Liberty Bell is already on a thing because they were trying to move it when the apocalypse started. And they just left it in the middle of the road. Well, our group of survivors behind me are like, what do? We've got to stop these zombies. And someone's like, well, if we just kind of push it, I bet it might just go down the hill and take some of them out. So they literally just
No.
push the Liberty Bell and it just goes dun dun, and it's
Oh my
it's the whole show. I recommend it just for stuff like that alone. They come across the largest wheel of cheese in the world and use that. We were never here. Like
Wow.
it's
I need
amazing.
to check
It
it out.
sounds like we could also say it's educational somehow.
It is.
It's a fun show. It is very
Mhm.
fun.
Like, oh yeah, I know about the Liberty Bell from Z Nation.
Yeah. Oh, what's actually because a lot of Native Americans, it's a lot of them have been bringing to light the issues they're having and things. This I think might be important to. They do run into a group of a couple of tribes of Native Americans, and they're very respectful representing these groups of people. They're very respectful with the interactions of the groups. I mean, the whole episodes where they're involved are very respectfully and well done, in my opinion. And it was really, truly nice to see them bring other nationalities and traditions into that kind of subject matter because you don't see that really. I know there's a zombie movie of Native Americans and it
Oh
stars that
yeah.
group.
Oh,
I
I've
can't
seen
think of the
it.
name right now, but
Blood
it's
Quantum.
well done. Yeah.
wow.
But it was done even before that one, so it's nice that they represent different groups. They even represent the Amish. They come across an Amish community, and that's well done, and they're very respectful with a lot of it. Even though it is a very corny show and has its moments, it's still very respectful to everyone involved. I mean, this is your main character right here. She's your main badass. She's a
Oh
black woman
yeah,
lead, and she's
I have seen that.
phenomenal.
Oh shoot.
That ties into something, but actually, half the reason I started watching the show was because of her and other.
Are
Yeah.
you talking about the guy that dies the first episode that I thought was gonna last longer?
Man, can we talk about how?
They played us with that one. He was the only name that I recognized when the show was announced, and dude didn't even make it past the first episode. I was like, are you for
Not
real
even
right now?
the second, the
No,
first.
the first. But
That was
I have to
pretty-
say,
yeah.
his death was done real well. I mean, I gotta give him credit. If he's gotta go the way he went, it's kind of sad that a baby takes him out, but at the same time, a
Oh.
zombie baby
Yeah, like
being
it
able
was
to do
hilarious
that.
that they that show was like him, and then it was just
Funny.
like, oh, they're really doing him like that. Okay.
Just kidding. Say your Oh, say your next one, Cozy.
Oh, my next one. Hilariously enough, the reason that you speak of Z Nation is Bernie Mac show.
Oh,
Because that's where I recognized her from, was like the Bernie Mac show, and I was like, oh, I'll watch Z Nation. But yeah, so the Bernie Mac show for me was a very 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 important show. It came around about in a time in my life that, so I was like basically removed from like my mom's custody, and I went to live with my much better off aunt, and so I kind of like really around that same time the Bernie Mac show came out, and so it was weird because I felt I really related to it, like in a way that I think no other show resonated with me, because I was just like kind of watching a lot about like how I was living play out in this show. And not only that, but it was handled like, very humorously and kind of very realistically. It was a very funny show. And surprisingly, like if you know anything about Bernie Mac's comedy, his comedy could be very mean-spirited. But surprisingly, the show was not. And oftentimes it was like he ended up being the bad guy. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed so much about that show. And yeah.
Back when sitcoms were more wholesome, though, I mean, to me, it almost seems like even the family themed shows are highly questionable with some of the subjects they decide to surround their episodes on, or the characteristics they decide to give their characters. I find myself a lot of times with some of the newer like family shows, I don't like the kids half the time, or the parents. I'm like, y'all aren't doing none of your jobs. Like the kids are
Yeah.
terrible, or the parents are just, the hell are you doing with your time? Like, no wonder your kid's getting into so much trouble. You're not paying attention to anything they're doing. Like,
Mm.
I don't understand. Not to mention, it seems to be that they repeat the same mistakes every single episode. Whereas, like with Family Matters and Bernie Mac and even Full House and stuff, they learned from their mistakes for future episodes. We weren't repeating the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, I really genuinely miss shows like Family Matters, man. They should really do another one of those. Carl Winslow was like the perfect father. I would have
Um,
taken that man in a heartbeat.
no, what the you know what? I'm so glad, Cozy. First of all, I want to say I'm so glad that you told us that story, because first of all, that's amazing. Um, you're amazing. Thank you for telling us that about yourself. Incredible. Um, and I love that you said Bernie Mac, because there are a lot of children that were living that kind of lifestyle where they were living in a different, like I had some friends that were living with their aunt, like, and I had never thought about that, Gozy, that was really representation in Bernie Mac. Like, damn, like that really could have helped. And the Bernie Mac show was just culturally amazing for black culture being on TV on Fox. It was a good show, and you're right, it was very wholesome, because there always was a good lesson, and I really liked it a lot. Thank you for saying that. It's a good
Oh,
pick.
Oh, clowns! Look at
Yeah.
clowns with the super chat.
I
It's a
see
super
that.
chat.
You ladies are
Aw.
awesome. Thank you, clowns. He's
Thank
such a
you.
great guy.
Oh.
Okay, so we are on. I did my second. Cozy, you just did your third, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's SmacPisces for your
Next
third, right?
Pisces,
Oh.
your
Ooh.
third.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I feel like my third one is like so different from like a lot of things we talked about, but I really loved it. Euphoria. Now, I don't advocate for you know.
Oh yeah, no.
I
You
didn't
don't
like
have this
Euphoria.
the usage of substances,
no
but
harsh substances. But I loved the like artistic direction in the show, like the
Mhm.
music and the scenes. Like I love it so much. And I have had family members like go through that, and I think that they did a really good job at showing how serious like addiction is and how it affects like everyone around you, especially
Yeah.
in season 2. Like a certain character is obviously like addicted to something, and it's really really affecting their family, and I think that it was like super realistic. Like they cut the music off, it was like all shot in one scene throughout the
Mhm.
house, and it broke my heart, but like I was like, that is beautiful. Like that was such a beautiful scene, so I really like it personally. Fashion, art, situations, I like it.
I might have to watch it. I
Oh,
haven't
you need
watched it.
to definitely HBO Max
I
or
haven't
whatever it's
actually
called now.
watched
Whatever the hell.
any of the
Max or
full
whatever.
seasons. I've seen clips of it. To me, it's not a show I could probably get into, only because of some of the context and the age in which the characters are supposed to be. I have that same problem with the Sabrina TV, or the series Netflix did. I watched it. I just, however, had an issue with them supposed to be so young but acting way. I mean, I understand
Yeah.
teenagers are a different breed than they were 20 years ago, but still, things ain't changed that much. Let's be honest. No 16-year-old is using a 5-syllable word to describe something they could just say cool instead. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. And then
Yeah.
again, where are the parents? I find it very hard to believe these parents don't pay attention. So, but
Yes.
I do have to say, as someone who does do costuming and makeup and things, the costuming and the makeup are fabulous, and the
Legendary.
shots are very beautifully done in a lot of cases. So I do have to give them credit for that. It is beautifully shot, and the makeup artist, they definitely know what they're doing, because they do a fantastic job. And I mean, and to make Zendaya look like she just crawled out of a hole somewhere. I mean,
Mhm.
she's a gorgeous girl. So to make her look that rough, you got some skills, my friend,
Yeah.
because it's not easy to make someone that's pretty. As someone who, again, I go out of my way to make people look hideous for like Halloween. It's not easy to make a pretty person ugly. Like, there will still be some pretty there. So to make her look as rough and make it look believable, they're doing a good job. I just, like I said, I wish they would have at least aged him up a little more, just because of the more risque content. It, to me, it's just, I feel weird. Like, I didn't watch Riverdale for that reason. When they started getting into like the sexy stuff, I felt
Mhm.
weird. I know they're adults in my mind, but
I'm the
they're
same
supposed to be
way.
playing teens, and I'm like, this feels really skeezy. I feel like I'm gonna be put on a list for
Yeah, I
this.
normally like
Yeah,
fast
I
forward.
feel like a predator now.
What? You
I'm
fast
gonna go with
forward?
that's
Yeah.
why I
You're
like hot old people, because I know I'm not a predator. Yes. Like, I
Give
know
me
for
an old man with
sure
gray hair
that
any
man
day.
is 50 or 60. That woman is 60 years old. I know. I know she's not 16. It's fantastic. So, yeah.
That's
Ugh,
funny.
sorry. Power Rangers. My
No, good
favorite
pick
TV show.
though, because
Power
they did just win a bunch of awards for the last season too, I believe.
Yeah, I think that it did super well. And I
Mhm.
think it was like one of the most like tense, like situationally seasons. I don't know. I feel like it was super heavy, but I also feel like it was way better than the first, and I feel like it touched on a lot of things, but left a lot of unanswered questions. I'm trying not to spoil it, but it was really good. So if you guys can
Aw.
take it, you should definitely just give it a watch. But yeah, I keep my hand on the fast forward button because they like to show lots of boobs. And I like boobs as much as the next person, but I still feel weird because they're adults playing
Yeah,
high
and
schoolers. So I definitely
what makes it so weird is that one of them is an ex corn star.
yes.
And
Didn't
when
know
I
that
found that
before.
out, I was like,
Hell
when I
yeah,
found that
she
out, I
broke
was like,
into it.
bro,
She
she
broke
is
in.
Yeah, she's
she
good at
looks
it.
so young, and I'm like,
Mhm.
Oh wait, what? She's young?
no, she looks younger
She's
than
old.
she is.
Oh, yeah.
She's older than she actually looks. So that's why it was like when they said she was, I was like,
Oh.
how old is she? And good for her. But even with scenes with her, it'd still be like, I know you got movies, but you're supposed to be.
It's the situation.
It's still
It's
weird.
weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird that like I'm hoping
Why
that
are we sexualizing teenagers so
I am
much?
that
What is
part.
the deal?
I am honestly hoping that there's going to be like a renaissance with seeing older, not like just older women being like women playing women that are not teenagers.
I would like
Because
for them to not
you
have
have a
teenagers in
life.
sexual situations all the time. Not
Yeah.
every teenager gets into that at a young age.
No, they
So to
don't.
keep portraying it, it's like you're almost encouraging it. You know what I mean? Like, think about the shows in the movies when we were younger, when they had a risque teenager. It was never played as just it's a thing that happens. It was always played like you sure you really want to hang out with this person? They're kind of bad news. You know what I mean? Like, why are
That
we almost
reminds me-
glorifying it?
I had a conversation with someone about like, because they were like, they didn't like Stranger Things. They're like, they look way too young to be the ages that they are. And I was like,
What?
do you remember high school?
Yeah,
That's exactly how they
all
look.
babies.
That's
I was
exactly how they look. That is exactly how they look.
I mean, yeah. It's weird whenever you have, and do you remember like Dawson's Creek and stuff? You had like 30-year-old people playing like
No, they were not that old.
okay.
They were not
They
that
were
old.
they were
They
in
were
their
not that old.
20s, I think. I believe they were in
Okay.
their 20s.
They were
not
still
not
old.
even all of them were that old. Like I know,
Some of
like
them were old though.
Michelle
Listen, they
Williams
were
was pretty
still-
young. Like
No, I think Michelle
Williams-
Williams was the oldest one.
No, she was like very young.
Was
She,
she? I thought she was
yeah,
older.
they were not that. But yeah, that was interesting because they were not that old in that show. It was just
Really?
like, yeah, they were none of them were that old in that show.
Dang.
The show just went on for like a longer time because they were
Yeah,
in
that's
high
it.
school most of the show.
There was that show, and then there was. I didn't watch Dawson's Creek, but I know that it existed, and there was 90210. What was there? Another one from the 90s?
So
My
in
So-Called
91210,
Life.
Melrose Life.
My
So-Called
so-called
Life.
life.
Oh, my so-called.
Claire
Life.
Danes' first role, and oh good lord, now I can't even think of who he was. He played the dipshit boyfriend crush. But yeah, that was played by younger kids in the younger adults in the 90s, I believe.
Beverly Hills
Wow.
90210 was very similar. They had two people that were like older, but most of them were actually
Yeah.
not that old.
Wow.
They just looked
Adriana
old.
was the oldest one on that one.
Yes,
You
she was
knew
just
it. She was
she
like
was just-
100.
Yeah,
Like,
she was
we
like,
are not buying you are 16, ma'am. You look to be
See,
about 50. Quit lying.
I don't know what's going to happen to me because I am like 35 and
Aging gracefully.
oh, thank you. But I don't know how I'm going to feel like if I ever, just get cast in anything ever and I'm going to be like a 50-year-old mom and I'm going to be
Jared
like, okay.
Leto. Trinity.
Whoa!
It was Jared Leto in My So-Called Life.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Mm.
He played the douchey crush /
I hate-
boyfriend.
Sorry. I
Well,
have,
if
like,
you watch
this-
My So-Called Life, you'll hate him all over again.
No,
'cause he's a
I just
terrible
have, like,
person in
this-
that show.
I have this like
Come
villain
on, no,
arc with like Jared Leto because everybody like my stupid TikTok always says that I look like Jared Leto, and I don't like Jared Leto. I don't
see
like
it.
that guy.
I don't see it,
Ma'am,
girl.
I'm just gonna
I don't know.
as the white person on the show tonight and the only one, I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe I'm the only white one. You don't look anything like a white man. I'm just
Thank you.
throwing
What?
that out there. Nothing like a white man. Anyone who's
It
anyone who
told
says
me
that
that I
you need
look
to
like
ask them
Jared
what they're
Leto, and I
on.
was like, oh my god. Well, I do have big eyes. Oh my god, what if I look like Jared Leto?
No,
I don't know.
No,
ma'am.
no. I mean,
I don't know what people look like.
I would say if you look like anybody, there's oh good lord, now I can't think of what her name is. There's an actress. She's an Indian actress.
Jamila
she was big in-
Jamil.
I always get her and the one that's married to the Jonas confused. So I'm
Priyanka
gonna
Chopra.
say you look like her, like when she was in her early 20s. You look a lot like her. That again could be my opinion, but I
Well,
think you
thank
more
you.
definitely look more like her than Jared friggin'
Yeah, that's
Who the hell?
I'll take it.
This is my message to those people who said that. Raise your left hand like so and slap yourself. What the heck?
hard.
Let it be known.
Bro,
Let it be known, world. I do not
I'll
look
slap you,
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Put it in the chat.
Wow.
It could
And
be
that I am
worse.
gonna and I will take that as the biggest compliment of my life.
You
So
could
thank
like
you.
Jared Leto dressed up like Joker.
I think anyone
With
could
the
look
gold
like Jared Leto
tooth.
dressed up as the Joker. He looks ridiculous.
I'm gonna oh, what if we all cosplay as Jared? Only the Jared Leto Joker. Like the shittiest Joker version on one show. All of us have to be the Jared Leto Joker.
I will tune in
Please.
and take screenshots.
Please do it. Guys, it would make me so happy.
Oh,
She's
okay.
like,
We
no.
because I'm looking at the chat. We do
Chat.
have a poll for your favorite shows for genres. Your genre choices are horror, comedy, action, or drama. I'm not sure when we're ending the poll. I would assume closer to the end of the show. But if everyone would like, I could read the results we have so far with 31 votes.
Comedy.
48% people said they enjoy comedy more. 29% said they enjoyed horror more. 19% said action, and only 3% said drama.
We don't
I
like
don't
the
really blame
drama.
you.
Yeah.
Depends
We-
on the drama. I prefer Jerry Springer and Murray. I prefer that kind of drama. I find that more entertaining because I
Wait,
find it so hard to
that's
believe
drama?
those people are realistic. I find it sort of
That's
like
just
you could
that's
not
just
be real.
dinner.
Wait, does that count as drama?
That's
I thought
just my
in drama
dinner.
They wanted.
I'm just kidding. It's
Oh,
not. My house is
funny.
not Jerry Springer.
But it could be.
It could be if y'all want it to be.
There could be.
I support this.
I'll
All
just
right.
start
So,
looking crazy.
who hasn't done their third yet? Mama, I don't think you've done your third yet, right?
I pretty much did because I accidentally mixed it up with the other one. But it's yeah, it's a tie between two because and it's going to be always the two. And it's Community and Arrested Development.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good shows. Both good shows.
Both. And Community, I wanted to say because they have the movie coming out and I love Community. It was it's one of those shows that it is rewatchable as hell. It's so fast and it is such a smart show and it makes fun of things without being mean. And I love whenever they do they do the spoof shows where they do the action and then they have the paintball thing and then they have
The paintball episode was great.
the paintball episodes. They have the weird Christmas episodes. It's
Oh, the
just
giant fort, the big fort thing.
Oh!
There is. That was so
yeah,
funny.
that's the best thing.
They also have the best mascot.
Yes,
I
the
would
human
definitely
being.
become a lifelong student if that community college were near
I
me.
am
for sure.
Pierce. Like I have become Pierce now that I'm in school again at the age of 35. I am Pierce. I was like, this isn't even a joke because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, what's that word? Irrelevant, and that's my life now. So I really identify with Community. And that's my pick.
Nice.
That's my pick. I'm irrelevant
Nice.
and I'm the irrelevant person in school. So my pick is Community.
I love Community. It's so good, but if you ever go to if you're in community college, it really is like that sometimes. I've been, and it really is like that sometimes. It is so ridiculous. You'll be there, and I remember when I went, I was probably 25, and I was legit hanging out with some homeschooled, kid, and we were we ended up picking each other out as
Oh, yeah.
partners to work together and for our labs. And
Yeah.
it was just like this homeschooled, like, 16-year-old, 25-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, you end up being like best friends with like a 40-year-old person. Or like for me, I just decided, I don't know, like you're gonna meet that homeschool guy. Why don't you try to marry him? Who knows? Sounds like a good
He was 16.
Okay, well that's good. No, mine
didn't
was
have-
not.
I
Mine
didn't
was
have to go to
not.
community college to get a whole bunch of old friends. Most of my friends are over the age of 50.
Oh yeah, you already had cool old friends. I'm still looking for mine.
All you gotta do
So.
is find the nearest hippie community, man. Nearest hippie community. Those people are so chill and cool with so much.
They are.
I was
Aw,
raised by a hippie. What can I say?
it's precious.
She was out of her ever loving mind.
The best people are.
Exactly.
Is it?
So, I guess, did everyone else do their third pick already? Is it just me?
It is just you.
Oh.
Ain't nobody here but you, chicken.
Oh, well, I guess it's on then. Okay, so this last show, while I love it, I am also going to take a slight shit on it at the same time. We're going with The Walking Dead. Loved it for the first quite a few seasons, and then it just became super repetitive. And I don't know about anyone else, but I am seriously tired of the villains always being another group of survivors. Like realistically, if that were something that was genuinely a huge no, don't get me wrong, there's violence in the world going on every day. That's why crime's committed constantly. I'm not saying there aren't terrible people. However, it's been statistically proven that when things go wrong, people like to work together as a community, or society would not be standing as it is if we weren't a group that liked to be herded. We would all be off and our society wouldn't be what it is. And I find that they tend to the last quite a few seasons, it seems like it's just terrible people everywhere, all around. And I'm sorry, but in an apocalypse, I'm not saving an asshole. Like I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
I
Like,
know.
so I
was
find it hard to believe all these people survive. Like, bro, they would not live. Like, you mean to tell
Yeah.
me the pedophile from the prison wouldn't have been one of the first ones on the hit list?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I would take care of. Never mind. But anyway,
Right? Yeah, I got a list. When it comes, they know who they are. They'll be expecting me. Don't you worry. No.
I agree with that take too, because I got super tired of that. I was like, why is this just like a constant gang fight whenever we got zombies over here? Like, don't worry about the zombies, guys. We gotta go get these other guys at the other place. And I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
At that one point.
and even
But it was good.
science and even psychologically speaking, people don't generally like a leader that is a horrible human being. And if
Usually.
dude is twisted in all kinds of crazy ways, are you going to allow this fool to have complete power? I think not. I'm sorry. No, my dude, that's not going to happen. So I just think it got carried away. And that's why I was glad when Z Nation came out, because it was like it's filling the void that The Walking Dead should have continued going on. And instead, we're constantly fighting with random groups. It's like I really appreciated the first 3 seasons. 4 and 5 get a pass as well. After that, I just kind of stopped watching it as much and it kind of fell off. So I mean, I got to be honest, I haven't watched it in quite a few seasons, but the first few were fantastic. We used to have watch parties.
Oh yeah. Man, that was like, what was that? 2011, 2013. My
No, it
kids,
was, I want to say it was 2011 or 12. Yeah,
I
probably
had
11 or
I
12.
had a baby, so I know that it was because I was married and I had a baby, so I was like 22 at least. And I remember like my ex-husband who we co-parent together and we're friends, he would watch that show. He'd be like, "Okay, Walking Dead's on." And it would be like a thing where I'd be like, "Okay, I've got the baby. Like I've got Layla." And then like his brothers would be watching the show at the same time everywhere, and that was
It was an event. It was an
yeah, it
event.
really
It really
was.
was. It
Wow.
was. Because like I was living with one of my best friends at the time when the show came out, and she loves to support anything that I was into. She wasn't really the biggest horror fan, but she loved to support anything I did. So when I told her the show's coming out, I got to make sure I watch it. Can you? Because I have a terrible memory. I'm like, can you please kind of remind me? She's like, I got it, no problem. This girl went out and made sure I had snacks to eat every time the show was going on. She'd call me like an hour before the show and be like, I know you're on your way home because your show's about to start. She'd tell our friends, don't bother her, leave her alone. She's watching her show. Like, it was a big thing. And I appreciate that my friend did that for me. And then when my husband and I got together and started dating, he kept that tradition going. He was like, leave her alone. This and Supernatural are her things. If you try and talk to her, I can't guarantee your safety.
Oh,
That's so sweet. I love that. It sounds like you have a
Literally
good
so cute.
friend. It sounds like you have a good friend and a good husband.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's precious. Look at Kosie's like, well, we're all just like, oh,
I'll tell you what, sweets, you guys move down here. I will be happy to, we can all do it together. I don't have, like I said, I hang out with like people that are over 50 now. Most of my friends my age, we all have our own lives. Everyone's got families and things, so it's harder to get together. So my moms, my adopted moms and things are the ones I see the most.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
have a life.
I have these two kids. They require a lot of stuff, but I want to come visit. And honestly, we want to go do things together because that would be
The
fun.
haunted house.
What if we go haunt the house without telling Death?
You know what's funny
Smack, you
is
come.
What?
know
I will
what's
come.
really funny?
I'm down.
You guys,
We're coming. We're just gonna
know,
show up.
I have a story about that. Of one of my good friends who's like a brother to me. He actually told me the night he was going to come through our haunted house. He even called me up like an hour before he came. He's like, I'm getting ready to come through. I'm going to park. He's like, I'm not going to tell you when I make it to your house inside, though. I want to try and find you. And I was like, yeah, you go right ahead. Cause I oftentimes wear contacts and makeup and I'm in an area with low lighting. So I can like barely see. A lot of times I can only see like silhouettes sometimes. And it happened to be a year that I was half blind. And do you know this man has known me for many, many years, seen me in all kinds of outfits, costumes, makeup, you name it. Him and both his brother and another friend of ours, all three of these fools walked by me, had no idea it was me. And the best part was, I even called their names out. They recognized Dreadpool. As soon as they got to Dreadpool, they knew exactly who he was, and they were like, "Oh, hey, we're here looking for your wife." And of course, Dreadpool starts laughing. He's like, "What do you mean? You should have seen her." They're like, "Oh, we didn't see her." Da, da, da. And he's like, "Walk back into the room you just walked out of. That's her." And of course, he walks back in, and he's like, "Death." And I'm like, "Hey, sweetie." He's like, "Oh my god." And he doesn't scare easily, but he's like, you did a mind mess with me. I had no idea it was you. It didn't sound like you. It didn't look like you. And I'm like,
Perfect.
yes, boy.
As it should be.
The plan.
I've had many friends come through going, oh, I'm going to find you. You're not going to find. You can try. I encourage you to try. You probably won't.
We should do it.
I would laugh so hard if you guys actually pointed me out. That would do it. I'd walk you through the rest of the trail. Be like,
No,
all right,
I
I'm
wanna
gonna
come
walk you through
by.
the rest.
I'm a Where's Waldo you so hard.
Oh my
Mm.
God.
But I did notice, it was brought to my attention, we missed a super chat
What?
from
Oh, cool.
the amazing Dreadpool, my darling.
Oh, we know him.
Yeah,
Do we know him?
he said, great podcast with
You
wonderful
know him.
ladies. I believe these are clapping hands, praying hands, and a heart.
Oh, look at him being the
Sheesh.
supportive husband. That's so sweet. Oh, thank you.
Okay,
Yobi.
okay. I haven't been keeping up with the chat because I was told I kept looking down last time too much. I'm confused. I see Dragonheart Yobi, Death Dealer. She has a gift. I'm staying away from you. Run. Who has a gift? Me? Am I a gift? I have lots of gifts. I am scary
She's a
and
gift.
You're the girl
terrifying.
with all the gifts.
You have every gift ever.
Fun fact: I'm only 5'4".
That
and
doesn't mean you're not
100
dangerous.
Well, that's the point. I'm actually the one that they call to deal with a lot of the issues. Actually, Dreadpool and I were discussing this earlier because we're going to take friend's kid this year with us to work in the trail. And of course, I was explaining to him we're going to keep the kids safe and everything and going over the rules with them. And the husband looks and he goes, oh, well, with Dreadpool around, I'm sure there aren't too many issues. And Dreadpool just kind of laughs. And I just looked at him and started laughing. I was like, actually, he calls me. And usually when I come around the corner to deal with the problem, he's actually looked at the people that he's having the issue with and been like, good luck now, bro. You're on your own.
Isn't
Sorry
it
about
funny how,
that.
like, I find it so. Did you ever see that meme that was like, it was something about big burly guys or like guys loving like really loud small women, and it was like, why do they do this? And it was like, well, somebody's got to tell the waiter about the mashed potatoes, like. And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen because I will mount up, like, just go all hardcore for my husband. So I don't know.
I just
They're just
never had
cool.
the opportunity to be non I don't even know how to
Be
put it.
aggressive. Be
Yeah.
aggressive.
I
When you're
have
small, you don't have a choice
well,
because
it's
we are
not even
so
just
small.
that. I'm the oldest of I actually have 5 younger brothers and sisters, blood related. And I have a couple of adopted siblings as well. We've adopted people over the years who I absolutely consider family members. And as the oldest child, you genuinely, usually have to be the one to look out and make sure everyone's taken care of. And with the age gap between my youngest siblings and I was a teenager when they were born. So I was an extra parental figure almost. Because I make the joke all the time. I tell people, I'm like, because they're like, oh, well, you only have one child. You should have more. I'm like, honey, I've already raised my kids. I don't know what you're talking about. This is the last one. I've got a Marine. I've got a
Yobi.
construction company
Yobi.
owner that I raised. I mean, I think I've done good. So
You
thank
are.
you, but no thanks. And my brothers were such a pain in the ass. I didn't have the opportunity to be that crazy bitch to have to come in and straighten things out and deal with the problems. And that authoritative part has never left me. I try to tote it, but
Death.
it comes out all the time. Oh, yeah.
There are 2 things.
Yes.
We got a thing from Dragonheart Yobi,
Oh,
which is
yes.
so sweet.
Yobi.
And
Aw.
your husband says that we should be a part of the trail scenery
Be part of
prop.
the scenery.
I
prop.
will do this. I will come and, like, you have no idea. Like, I will legit just come and do this as a bit for myself and just to be funny.
Okay, Dragonheart Yobi says, peace, love, life. Keep up the amazing work. Clowns, you put together an amazing panel. Good job, ladies. Very entertaining show. Love, X support. Aw, thank you, Dragonheart. And
SmacPisces.
thank-
Look at her. She's doing great.
Yobi.
She's doing great. How'd you feel about the show? Have you liked it? Do you feel like it was okay?
Yeah, I felt good. I was telling my hot mama I was like so anxious before, but like talking to the chat, okay, all these ladies are so sweet. They're so sweet, and I love them so much, and they made me feel so comfortable. I feel like I'm talking to friends right now. So it's been so fun. Loved
Oh,
it.
Glad. I'm really
well.
glad. That makes us happy to hear. That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, I was like, well, I
It's been
didn't mean
great.
to sound so like I was fishing for a compliment there. Damn.
No, I
Now I
would have said
just
it
feel
anyway.
bad, but
I would have said
thank
it
you.
anyway.
Thank you. And
I
I'm
get what
glad
you
that's
mean, though. There have been times where I've guested on other podcasts, and they don't. It's not you're just doing the podcast. You don't get a chance to talk to them really before or much after. It's just strictly podcast. I get what you mean. It's
You're like Kix. We really like you.
Sheesh.
Oh, you have
Kix.
beautiful hair. I can't get over how gorgeous your hair looks.
I know her hair
It
is
is
like
gorgeous.
Thank
stunning.
you. I'll start blushing
I
right now. Don't do that.
I know, like
I
her
wi-
hair is
I
stunning.
always wanted curly hair, and I have the straightest hair possible. Like this is it. This is what I got. And I've always wanted it. And my daughter has like wavy, kind of possibly curly hair, and I am losing my mind trying to figure out how to take care of it because I feel so bad. She got like a little afro puff going every time.
Oh, because it's
Yeah,
a
if you
different.
brush wavy or curly hair, just huge.
Yes. Yes. And she's not really into the whole letting her hair drip dry with, 50 products in it and then letting me experiment to see what, because I know different things work with different hairs. And she's not a fan of me experimenting right now.
They are mean at that point. Like I remember, well, at the age of 4, Layla was terrible about her hair, and it was. I mean, and she has thick Asian hair because, lo and behold, she has 2 Asian parents, so she got Asian hair, and it was crazy though. I mean, I knew the Asian hair was coming, but it's a different kind of Asian hair. It's thicker and like fluffier almost. Like my hair
I
is like very straight and hers has wave. And it's like the kind where if you brush it it will get poofy and she would do that to herself and I'd be like, "No, honey, don't do that." And she'd be like, "I like it." And I'd be like,
it's funny you mentioned that because I'm about to sound real dumb right now, but I actually just found out that Asians can have curly hair too. I thought
Mhm.
that the Asian trait, they always had straight hair because in representations, you always
Yeah.
see that beautiful, silky black hair. And I just assumed they didn't have curly hair. Lo and
Yeah.
behold, I came across some influencer and she's talking about it. And she's like, my hair is not permed, it's natural. And I'm like, I'll be damned. I had no idea. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Isn't it crazy? Genetics
The
are
things you
amazing.
find out. The things you find out
I
over
mean,
time. I'm surprised it took me that long to find that out. I had no idea.
no.
Hey, if
I
you don't
mean,
know, you don't know.
and there's
I had
nothing
no
wrong with like finding out something and being like, "Oh, cool." And so I'm glad. I think it's good.
funny.
You don't have to
No.
know everything. Anybody who knows
No.
everything
I know
is an
everything.
They
idiot.
suck.
I know
Oh,
Yeah.
everything.
shut up, Cozy. I
They
didn't want
suck.
talking to you. We all know you know everything. You're the brilliant person. You're like
The
a
exception.
librarian.
You know, I
Okay,
used
so
to have
then
to pretend I didn't know things because people would be like, "Did you know?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And
Who's
I
Mother of
know this
Mayhem?
because of some weird thing that I read when I was bored at the
Oh,
library. And then they'd be like, "You always, of course, you know that." And I'd be like, "Well, I just thought you were serious when you asked me, did I know that?"
Yeah.
Mother of Mayhem is one of my adopted moms. So,
Oh,
hey, baby.
that's so sweet.
She's probably like,
Hi.
you look so much better than you sounded. We took Tiny Giant to Celebration Station and I rode go-karts for the first time since my last back injury. And I didn't think I would be able to do it. I'm not even gonna lie. I was in a
Are
little
you
bit of
okay?
pain when I got home. Took a
Yeah.
nap for like 2 hours, 3 hours. Tylenol and things later. I'm feeling much better.
Shit. No,
Good.
dude. It is hard. Like I told my mom like cuz my mom was like, "We should take the kids to Camden Park." And I was like, "Mom, I ain't got no business being on a roller coaster." Like
Mhm.
because when you've had a back injury,
Oh, I miss one so
yeah,
much.
like you cannot mess with that and so I just am not ever going to be able to do that. I was like um there was something about Disney World at one point, and I was like, I mean, why would I even go? Because I can't ride anything.
I love roller coasters. They're my absolute favorite. The whole reason I go to a lot of theme parks, and it has been soul crushing to know that I can't go on them anymore. And I'm like, because of Tiny Giant, I still have to compromise and take the kid, but I'm like, I can't take her alone because I can't go on the rides with her, and I don't want her going by herself. So she's still too young.
You
for
don't
that.
want her to be like with a stranger either. Not
in the
like
sea.
I don't want some rando
Right.
beside my daughter.
Well,
Who
she
are
gets
you?
scared still. So even though she wants to ride it, she still wants to hold on to, her person. And
Yeah.
that's not going to work if it's a random stranger. She's too shy for anything like that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to get someone to go with us. But
like a
it's
whole
so
ordeal.
crushing. So crushing. So crushing. And now
I
I feel
mean-
weird because I'm like, I'm going to rent a scooter to go around the parks to save my back a little trouble.
I know, and then we look like we're crazy, and because people are like,
lazy.
yeah,
Why
people
are
are like,
you
you're just a
there?
lazy person. I'm like, I had a stroke, bro. Do you want me to have one again?
4 car accidents in 2.5 years. I'm lucky I'm not paralyzed.
Yep.
Yeah, seriously.
I just don't like them because they hurt. Like I discovered this at a very young age. I was 12, and that was the first time I was at a amusement park, and I was tall enough to actually ride the ride. I got on a roller coaster. It was the Son of Beast, and let me tell you and explain to you why that was a stupid first ride. It was like it bragged about being the only wooden looping roller coaster. That should have told me, if adult me realizes, yeah, that was stupid, but I chose it. I got off, my back hurt, and I was like, yeah, I haven't been on one since.
Oh, even before my back injuries, wooden roller coasters have always been
yeah.
a nightmare because in Florida we have so much humidity and rain and things. It's constantly wet. And the wood warps over time. So instead of having this nice smooth thing, you got this it's like, oh my, get me off of this thing.
Yeah, wooden
Get me
roller
off.
coasters are absolutely the opposite of a smooth ride.
Yeah, always. It feels like they're like jerking me around while I'm like just going straight on the platform. I hate them. Can't do it.
The roller coaster. Sorry, his electric magic carpet put Son of Beast hits hard, and that's a Kings Island roller coaster. So I was
Oh,
laughing
that's
about that because it's King's Island. God bless you, King's Island. King's Island forever.
After
It
that, I stuck to the Beastie. Which is like
you were like, I'm going to
that was the kiddie roller coaster. So my cousin and I would just go because he's like 6 years younger than me. So we would just be like, "Want to go on the Beastie?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, we just go on the Beastie."
Oh wait,
I'm going to the Beastie.
abrasive urchin. Now I got questions. I'm gonna have to look this up. What has been going on with roller coasters that we should be concerned about? I haven't heard anything. I mean, the drop ones. I know they pulled the drop ones from Florida and other states because of that poor child. So I know they were taking like the doom drops out of like all the theme parks and stuff, but I haven't heard anything about coasters having issues or anything other than them getting stuck and having to get people taken off of them that way. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think I
always
would
get stuck
necessarily
on
mind
roller
getting stuck
coasters.
on a roller coaster. I've been stuck on roller coasters
Yeah.
before, and it's
I don't want to be
not
stuck on a roller
terrible
coaster.
It's
as long
just
as you're not upside
boring.
down. Yeah,
It's just
very
boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just
You know what is
there.
wild though? I am a tilt-a-whirl enthusiast. So it's
Really?
kind of crazy that I will not get on a roller coaster, but give me a tilt-a-whirl, yes. Yes, I will ride that thing.
Do you vomit?
No.
Really?
Snap. Okay,
Wow.
Abrasive Virgin said there's 2 lately that were on Inside Edition who had very visible braking. Holy I'm
We're
having to
not
look that
going.
up. I'm gonna look that.
Yeah, I'm
So
cool.
see, you know what? Here's the thing. I like rides. I've always liked rides, and I'm a big fan of them. I feel as someone who lives in a tourist area with the theme parks and things, I recommend to not do carnival rides or even like how Old Town had that drop that and the slingshots and those things. I don't
But
trust
carnival
them.
rides are the best.
Well, see, here's the thing.
They're-
With most of these rides, you don't really get real training, and they aren't really inspected by most of the time. They're never inspected by the state.
We're talking about
And
carnivals.
carnivals and the small attractions, like say
Okay.
you got a small area that's got like one of those stupid slingshot rides and
Oh yeah.
one of the doom drops and stupid Ferris wheel, things like that, where they've got like 2 or 3 rides in the middle or whatever. I don't trust those. One, the way they hire people is not the same way they hire them to run rides in theme parks. And I know this because I've looked into working at these places. And the training you do at a theme park, you have to take classes. There's steps. There's a whole lot of training and actual testing that goes into it before you're allowed to operate the rides. They're also inspected several times a day at Busch Gardens and Disney World. Just because they're inspected doesn't mean they won't have technical issues and break down. That's a little different. They're inspecting for damages on the ride itself, to the track, to the carts, that thing. With your random rides like carnivals and even your town center rides, they're not inspected daily, sometimes even monthly. And
Oh
these
my
things
God.
are outside in the
Taylor.
elements. It,
She just drops the heat. Like you are so much knowledge.
I
I need
aware.
everybody.
Honestly,
Everybody
if I
talk to
die,
Death
I
Dealer.
die. If I die, I die because
No,
I mean,
I
I
want to live.
If everybody, I mean, everyone's
You're gonna
entitled
die by
to-
tilt-a-whirl.
everyone's entitled to
Death
their own.
by-
You can all live your lives and do what you want. I just want people to understand the risks in which they're doing it. And as again, I know carnival workers who travel around to different states with the rides. I wouldn't trust them to walk my dog for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
Bob does not
girl.
have a 5th grade education, much less a high school degree. And he's the one who's taken apart and putting together these rides.
Don't tell me
Like-
this because my ex, God bless him, and I love him. Love you, John, because I just talked about him. But he does take my children on these carnival rides, and I have to you just got to, you got to pick your battles.
You gotta
Maybe
pick
I'll
your
show him
battles.
this video.
Well, I recommend kids want to go on carnival rides.
They
I'm not
want to go
saying
on
to
the
just deprive
carnival
kids of
ride.
just do yourself a favor and look to see what the ride itself is doing while it's running. Because I'm sure if you look it up, you can find videos of like that pirate ship that swings back and forth.
Yeah.
There was an instance where they didn't anchor it to the ground correctly, and people had to rush over to keep that thing from
I remember
toppling
that.
over.
I
It was just like regular
remember
people,
that.
and they were just
Okay.
like, "Oh crap, this is
So-
happening."
You can
Yeah.
let your kids do things, and you can even do them yourself.
No.
Watch what the ride's doing before you get
I
your
don't-
ass on it, though. Like, again, these people aren't vetted the way, like I
Yeah.
said, at a theme parks are very good with safety and things because one, they know if they have a big mistake and a bunch of people get hurt, one, that's costing them so much money. And a bad reputation for a theme park isn't something you can come back from. So, hence, like the one in Florida, the drop in Florida, it took one kid falling out of that thing. And not only did they remove the one that the kid died on, they've started removing all of them even in the theme parks in Florida. We don't have them
Dang.
anymore at all. So, I'm saying it's just take a look.
Here's what's going to happen is you're going to get these random ass phone calls from
I'm
304,
watch
and
this real quick.
it's going to be it's going to be a video chat. It's going to be my face. I'm going to be like, "Hey, Death, I need you to
I need you to look at this and see if you think
I'll be
it's
like,
okay.
I need you to look at that." And it's going to be like the most mom looking thing. I'm like, "I need you to look at this." Sorry, I
I'm
just
off
got
with
really
the-
excited.
my family has a motto, and that's also why I learned so much and look into so many obscure things. My family's motto is it's easier to prevent a tragedy than it is to recover from one.
That's
Yes.
Wise.
Your
So I
family
try to
sounds
live that
smart.
way.
Can I go hang out with them?
Absolutely. We love adopting people. We'll take everybody.
I have been adopted before, so I know what it's like to be adopted. So
Grandma would have loved to have more granddaughters.
I'm gonna
sure
get
she
like
loves it.
triple adopted.
Does she make cookies?
She does. She does. She makes
All right,
amazing cookies.
snack.
My mother-in-law, rest her soul, she made amazing, great cookies. That woman could bake. And baklava. I miss that.
Baklava. That's not even easy to make.
Baklava
No.
is not easy to make,
No.
but snack Pisces.
Yes.
I think we should have her tell us about her socials. What would you like for people to find you at?
Ooh, well, you can find me as SmacPisces literally everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. I'm super active on Twitch, and that's where I mainly stream. So if you want to come by and say hi to me, that's where you can find me.
What do you stream? What are you streaming right now lately?
Probably a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and maybe a little Baldur's Gate 3 because it's been taking over my life. So you can expect a lot of horror, maybe a little fantasy.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna have to find you on Xbox so we can play together. I
Absolutely.
want to play
I'm
with
so
somebody I
down.
know in Texas Chainsaw. I've been playing with random strangers. I'm like, I need somebody
And
I
it's
can talk
awful.
to in chat.
It's awful.
yeah, you guys should do that. I was like, oh my gosh. What if, you know what we should do? This should be shipping. We could, like, this is a ship chat.
Ship?
Yep.
Like,
Like-
shipping, like friend shipping. Like,
Oh!
we're a friendship.
Oh,
Like
I
a
was
ship
like,
of friends.
I guess we could ship.
Yeah.
I could
like
ship
a
that.
like a friendship boat.
Okay,
Like
a
we're
friend
all
down.
friends. Yeah, like whenever you come on to this chat, like or onto our podcast, you are then a friend of our. You're like part of the SS friendship of Majestic Mayhem,
Woohoo!
Yeah.
and yeah, so you should definitely squad up with us and whatever.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Love.
Because I want to do some gameplay with you guys like some point because I would like to play some games and get scared maybe and then cry.
You should eat the games instead.
I should
That
eat
would
them.
Yeah.
Eat them.
Leave it to Cozy to come out with something. Didn't I tell you, Smack? Didn't I say? I was like, she may not always say something, but when she comes out with it,
It's gold.
What's the deal with the sugar right now? What's the sugar update?
Oh, yeah.
Cozy?
So I haven't started yet. I'm just compiling a list of recipes for the sugar.
I think I'm gonna send you a recipe
Okay.
for Jamaican candy. At least that's what I was told it's
Okay.
called. It uses sugar, lots
Okay.
of sugar, and
Okay.
coconut. You like coconut?
Yeah,
Okay, so I'll send you the recipe for that. It was amazing, delicious.
because I'm basically just compiling a list of recipes. I do have a taker who wants like 10 pounds of it, maybe. She said maybe. So she wants some of it, but maybe not 10 pounds.
She making a gallon of Kool-Aid or something.
No, she cooks, so she can use some of it.
I say that because I
Or
use like 5
100
pounds of sugar in mine.
Oh, I don't use 5 pounds of sugar. I use only like a cup of sugar in the gallon. But here's the thing, mine is half soda. Like you get the
Yeah.
Faygo peach soda, bam.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
see, we don't really get Faygo down here. It's a shame.
Oh yeah, you don't live in Faygo territory.
I get like 2 flavors down here, and you're lucky if you can find them. You get orange and grape, and I think that's all I've really ever found. I found strawberry once. I
And you're
think.
not gonna find the good flavors like 60-40.
Nope, got to go to Michigan
Rock
for
and
that.
rye.
We're gonna go. That's it. We're all going back to Michigan.
Mhm.
I know. Wasn't Smack Pisces was lovely, and I think we're every end of the show. I want to always update. I want Cozy to give an
Sugar
update about the
update.
sugar. Sugar update. Okay, and we're gonna end the show with what's going on with the sugar by Cozy.
That's funny.
All right.
For those of
sugar
you that
update.
don't know, I have 100 pounds of sugar that I'm trying to use up.
Oh, we had 2 more votes. Okay, so before we closed it out entirely,
Uh-oh.
we had 2 more votes. Horror is at 30% now. Comedy is at 45%. Action is at 21%, and drama is at 3%. So 3% of our chat is wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways,
Yay!
I believe that will be it for tonight's show. I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed having it. And SmacPisces, it was amazing for you to be here. We really appreciate it. You had it since face to the show. Love it.
so much. I
We
had so
hope
much
you'll come
fun.
back again in the future.
Absolutely. You'll have to beat me with the stick to get me away. So
We'd love
I'll be
that.
there
support
when you need
this.
me.
Yeah, I
I'll
like it.
definitely be there.
I support
Awesome.
six.
All right. Well, everybody in the chat, don't forget to give us a like on this. Share the video with your friends, relatives, whoever. I think we're clean enough that you could share it with some older kids, possibly. You never know, depending on your parenting style. Just kidding. But I am Death Dealer M85. You can find me here on Sundays, of course. On Friday nights, I am on Iconic Video Games Chat at 8 o'clock with the amazing Axel,
It is
Doggy
funny.
Dog, and Princess Zelda. And yeah, it's always, and I promise you, if you tune into Friday's show, you're gonna love it because I've got something specially planned for me. Gonna show y'all some acting chops. I
Oh my
promise you
god.
won't regret it. It's gonna be awesome.
Are you gonna be made up? Like
I
this time?
am.
Because that
am.
was
I
some
wanna
good
see it.
makeup.
I am.
Not-
I actually won't be doing the show. My assistant Penelope will actually be filling in for me. But Penelope is good. You'll like Penelope. She's very nice, very firm. I am trying to tell her to keep it clean-ish because she's not a very nice person.
Oh my god, this is adorable. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna be there now.
I know. I'm like, I think I need to see this now.
And during the week, of course, you can find me on Twitter with Death Dealer M85. Feel free to give me follow. I'm trying to get those numbers up. I'm well under 100, so I'd like to get to at least 100 by October. Let's go by my birthday. Let's go with October 25th. If you all could help me hit that number by the 25th, I'd be forever grateful.
That's my
Uh-oh.
boyfriend's birthday. I knew I liked you for a reason.
Oh my god.
It's
a great
fated.
day.
It is fated. That was extra for no reason.
That was ridiculous, Cozy. Why? Cozy, I love you. She's my hero.
All right. Well, Miss Cozy, where else can we find you during the week?
You can find me wherever you find Cozy Belugas, but with the Cozy with an S. But I do a show with him, Solo, and Loke called Bull Sitting on Fridays.
Oh, okay. All
Good show.
right. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Goofy fun.
And Miss Mama, where can we find you?
You can find me at Mahat_Mama on Instagram, and I'm here on YouTube, Mahat Mama on Twitter. And if you're very nice, you can send me a DM and I'll vet you for a special thing that I also have.
Oh.
So, there we go. I am living my best life. You can find our writing, my writing on West Virginia Watch and also thewomanwholived.com.
Nice. Nice. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all again for tuning in. We appreciate and love the support. And again, The Rockin' Trinity Warrior. Again, mwah, she did an amazing job with our promo earlier.
Yes.
Love it so
Yes.
Friendship, go!
Love it. Love it. She is amazing. If you're not following her already, I recommend it. She is such a wonderful person. I absolutely love her. So, but with that all being said, we're going to get going and we will see you guys all next Sunday at 9 o'clock again with a different topic this time.
Whoop,
You'll
whoop.
just have to find out. Wait and see. But love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.